What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Ulysses. Yes, Ulysses the Great. Ulysses the Wise. Ulysses the playing as Zeus. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is More. And he is telling us on this very day, this auspicious of occasions, that he will indeed win. Now, whether or not he is a prophet remains to be seen, as we are going to be watching this game on the map Watering Hole. We've got an Oranos-Zeus matchup. There's been a lot of talk about the old Zeus-Oranos matchup. There's a lot of very vocal individuals about this matchup and whether or not it's very true or not. I find this matchup to be one of the more balanced matchups, the more skill-based matchups in the game. And the most important thing to note about this matchup is that the matchup is heavily in favor of the Oranos player up until a certain skill level. And then once the Zeus player hits that skill level, it starts becoming very even, if not slightly Zeus favored, depending on how good you can actually get. And we'll see if that's what's going to happen in this game, if we're going to have anything of that sort here, or if it's just going to be a different style of game. Now, I'm talking about the skill level that I'm talking about is simply put Centaur control, Centaur value. That's not the only way you have to play this matchup. If you do not have Centaur control, you don't have to play Centaurs. There are other options in this matchup, but I do think that the Centaurs have the best ability to get wins here, and there is definitely other ways to take this matchup and get wins anyways if you feel like that's necessary. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Ulysses is a very, very strong Oranos player as well as a Zeus player, so he knows all the weaknesses of Oranos, and he knows how to play Zeus. So we'll see what he's going to be able to do. More, on the other hand, is one of the very few remaining Oranos mains. Like, only plays Oranos. And he doesn't only play Oranos. He does fiddle around with some other gods, but he definitely will, if he is going as hard as he can, if he wants the dubs, he will go in with Oranos and try and get the dubs with Oranos as it all comes on. He's one of the more innovative of the Oranos players as well. We are seeing that he is going to be going for what seems to be a standard 430 build here. Slightly different, it seems, but, you know, it's going to end up with the same thing. He's just making sure he gets some value out of everything. Does have enough to chuck a temple down, but he's still gathering that gold. Not chucking it down just yet. There he goes on the temple. And we're going to continue along here with the Centaur+ of Ulysses coming in saying good day to the Oracle here. Just going to take that one out. It's always nice to pick off one of these Oracles, making yourself feel a little bit safer against the early game Oracle harass, though I think for the most part we've seen a bit of a reluctance to go for the early Valor on your 3 Oracles from the Oranos player, because it tends to not get any value out of it. Much better to get yourself like your 3 Murmillos heroized, or a Terma and 2 Murmillos heroized. So we'll see how it's all going to go, but Ulysses drawing first blood in this matchup, giving More an extra population to play with. But that doesn't really matter all too much, as Prometheus is coming through. Ulysses, on the other hand, is going through Hermes. He's got 2 villages on favor. He's got 5 villages on food currently. Should be moving some villages over to wood. He's only got 7 there. He's got 5 villages on gold, actually. So this is indicating a fast second town center. The question of whether or not this town center is actually going to be good or not remains to be seen. In fact, I see this town center as very, very bad. However, this town center is not bad at all. In fact, it's incredibly good. 3 hippopotamus, 6 hippopotamus, 5 water buffaloes. The only problem with this town center is it's right in the middle of the map. Going to be tough for Ulysses to get his hands on against More, who's already got his Oracle over here checking this one out. We see the Promethean has popped out here for More as he's looking to scout around up the top of the map for some reason. And we do see the military barracks, counter barracks coming down straight away from More at the very back of his base. I'm not sure if this is 100% intentional. normally we do see the gold villagers building the initial counter barracks and military barracks, but putting it right at the back seems like it might be intentional in of the fact that it makes it harder to snipe the units with centaurs. But that being said, I think you definitely want to be going quickly onto this town center. We do see that Jason is out. Odysseus will be following very, very shortly for Ulysses. In fact, he is role-playing as himself in this game, and as Ulysses is Latin for Odysseus. So the more you know, the stronger you become. And yes, it's all good. Ulysses does have a little bit of wood in the bank as well, so he could actually start making the Centaur as well. So he's actually looking like he's going for a 2-town Centaur play. I do like the idea of getting yourself early Sylvan lore behind this instead of running in with an extra Centaur straight away. We are going to get one villager snipe here. Very, very close to surviving here. The Jukes, the fancy feet, the footwork as he's getting out of here, making the quick run around, and the Promethean doesn't get the fill. Big shockwave at the end from Morris. He's absolutely furious at that one. Oh, Ulysses with the fancy feet there, dancing around that Promethean like he's got nothing. And Ulysses is in a fantastic position right now. He's got 2 town centers. He's got himself Sylvan Lore coming through. He does have a little bit of a difficult situation in terms of his production right now, as the villagers are going to be taking up everything. But he does have enough villagers on favor and wood to consistently build those units, those centaurs. So we'll see him start getting the military barracks down soon. And we do see the army of Moor moving into Ulysses' base, looking for something to pick off. Meanwhile, Jason coming over here with the Odysseus. Normally, we do see one of those hero Murmillos getting bolted, as we see the Centaur coming over here, going to try and take down one of those human units, as the hero Murmillo is actually just about to be taken out. Maybe it's worth bolting the other Terma hero here, as the Murmillo hero gets sniped down, and then the Centaur can actually just chill over here and do stuff. But nice micro still here from Ulysses. He knows what to do. Focus down those heroes as best as you can. We see the Centaur running before that shot comes off. Nice play there, duking away from the Terma, as the Terma is going to continuously run around here. The Jason just going to be tanking for as long as he possibly can. Ulysses now getting himself out the military academy, as we see a Valor coming in. Still no bolt onto these units here. Moore's going very, very aggressive at this point, as we see another couple of units falling. The hero Terma all getting made here as the Katoskopos coming in, trying to draw blood on a secondary unit here. You don't often see Katoskopos getting a couple of kills here, as a Centaur simply just going to retreat into the base with a lot of villagers on favor right now. 5 villagers on favor is super inefficient, but that's exactly what's happening here, as we are going to be seeing the army of Moor retreating away, and Ulysses in a fantastic position right now, making himself hoplites and Hippikon with a lot of villagers on the water buffalo. You might want to pull these villagers away. There is no shockwave currently for Moor, because he did waste that one just a little bit. Straggle unit coming in here will get sniped down. Nice play here from Ulysses to pick those ones off, and Ulysses can continue to do this. We do see the hero Terma getting created here. Moor spending a lot of resources currently on the heroized units. There's another Murmillo coming in. And it's smart to do this, but you definitely don't want to overdo it. This is not like on Extended Edition. These are expensive Termas. Wait, let me actually click on one there. It costs 90 wood, 75 gold, plus the 50 wood, 45 gold that comes with them. So very, very expensive indeed, as we do see the heroes have been created yet again with the Odysseus back out. I'm sure we'll see Jason fairly soon, as the Centaur are going to be running around looking for something to pick off. And if you take a look at Moor's base, every single one of his... Ooh, I tell a lie. I would think that every single one of his villages would be near a manor right now, so these raids generally don't go too well. It's much better to be searching for the units of the Oranos player instead of anything else, instead of any citizens here, because it's very tough to get any picks that way. So we are seeing the army of Moor going to be running straight into the base of Ulysses. We do still have a ceasefire for Ulysses, so we can use that whenever he likes. Retreating back with these Centaur, no problems here. The Hoplite's doing some very, very nice damage over here, as the Centaur, just the micro here, the control from Ulysses, out of this world thus far, as we see yet another Centaur popping out of that temple, getting that mass Very, very big. And now the Centaur can simply just take out these Murmillo. There's no threat here anymore. Ulysses in a fantastic position. He did have to retreat his villagers, and he will be able to bring this Hippo in underneath the town center. Very, very nice and safe here. Beautiful play here from Ulysses, as Moore is struggling in this game. We'll see what his plan is. He's going to get himself a second town center. He's only got 2 villagers on food for the time being. There's lots of food in the middle of the map as the villagers are making their way up here to jump onto the hippopotamus. Got a lot of gold in the bank, a lot of wood. So he could go for a third town center as well in an attempt to catch up here. We'll see if that's going to be something that Ulysses is going to be aware of, because if he does see the third town center grab here, it's actually kind of worth it to just simply trying to snipe units. Move in, snipe unit, move out. You'd have Shockwave to worry about, you'd have a ceasefire, but you can basically just think about going to the heroic age right now instead of going after full population. Always ask yourself, why are you building units? And then once you get your answer, you will realize, oh, I could just go to the Mythic Age. I could not go to the Mythic Age. As the army of Moore walking through here, doing its thing, hanging out. Not much to be done just at this moment here. And Moore's economy still looking a little bit stretched thin here. He did bring a lot of villagers off of gold. So there's a couple left on there. So he's still not going for that third town center. Maybe feels like it's a little bit too slow as the Centaur do manage to come in. Nice split here from Ulysses. Jumping on tip, but nice micro from Moore sniping one of those Centaurs. We see a hero Murmillo getting manually converted here. Very, very low HP. Can actually take that one down before losing his Centaur if he actually focuses on it. And it looks like maybe one Centaur is going to fall super close. It does actually end up losing that one, as there's a couple of citizens here in the middle of the map that could potentially go down. The army of Ulysses, very, very strong here, making this push in. 123 population, 106 population, so the population still in Moore's advantage right now, as we see the Chiroballista coming out here for Moore, but Ulysses trying to snipe those ones down. We're still seeing more Hero Murmillos coming in onto this position. Nice mark up there to get the human units onto those Hero Atlantean units. It's very important to be taking down the hero units with your units, and the Centaur take everything else down. But at this point, Ulysses, 18 idle villagers, needs to sort that out. He does still have hippopotamus over here, which he can very easily eat. Still retreating back, picking off a couple of units on the retreat path. Ulysses, 115 pop, More 130 population. Lots of population for More. How are his economic upgrades looking? He's got sharp line, he's got hand axe, losing another Centaur here as Ulysses not paying attention, as Moore is beginning to equalize just a little bit in this game, losing a couple more hoplites as Ulysses retreating back. And we'll see how it's all going to go, as Ulysses basically has got a very safe base over here. He's got a very safe second gold mine on this location. He can definitely just sit here and defend. Definitely keep trying to get those special abilities off and see what he can do, but pulling back for the time being. We'll see how this is all going to go. The Centaur taking down one Murmillo, going after a second Murmillo. Nice snipes there, keeping those Murmillo numbers down. Very important. There are a lot of Hippikon here, enough to really put some serious pressure onto Moore's army, as we do see a cheeky wall getting thrown up here, preventing Moore from coming in. Got to be careful here, because you can actually focus both the wall that you're building and the other one. You actually didn't need to get those segments up there. It would have been completely fine here, as Ulysses pushing forward. We've got the Odysseus taking down a Promethean here. And the Centaur doing a lot of damage. Big shockwave there from Moore, hitting literally every one of those human units, but they're still pushing forward. Most of these Centaur not able to get taken out because the Terma are a little bit too far back, I guess. I mean, he's still getting some shots off. Ulysses actually not microing this very well at this point, allowing those Hero Terma to get away with this, but maybe he doesn't care. He's got the stronger army, the stronger Greek army here, currently very, very well pushing through this army. All the heroes falling just about now. One Terma hero left, and it will just about go down, as the Centaur still alive, and now Moore's down to 106 population. Ulysses is 125 population, and there goes another Hero Murmillo. A little bit of damage getting done onto this Centaur, but the micro too good there from Ulysses, as he is in a commanding position. Lots of resources in the bank. Could consider going for the third town center, though. You know how I feel about the third town center at this point in the game, and more villages getting built here for Moore, as he's trying to get that economy going. Normally at this point we would see the citizen count of an Oranos player being at its peak, full 25 citizen, but it's not that yet, because we've only got 2 town centers, and it was a late second town center at that. So Ulysses has got a very big advantage on the economy as he's trying to push through. We are seeing some catapulters getting built out here, but those very dangerous units to build in this matchup, because they basically need to be attacking Hippikon, or they do next to no damage. They do 5 damage a second, which is really not that much. They do a lot of damage to the Hippikon though, and we are still seeing Ulysses trying to force here. I mean, it might work, but as far as I'm concerned, Atlantean in the classical age, Atlantean is really, really hard to push and kill with Greeks. Better to just sit back and get all your economic upgrades and get to the late game and take the wins there, and then you completely remove the Atlantean player's ability to win the game. So we are seeing these citizen getting chased down. Nice snipes here from Ulysses, finding some exposed citizen at this point, as more going to be retreating back here, losing that citizen. Nice play from Ulysses, and the army of Moore still chasing this ball of units away. Little distraction tactic there from Ulysses to try and get his army away from there. Moore's at 130 population. Ulysses right now, he's got enough resources in the food department to go to the next stage, but not in the gold department. No shaft mine here just yet, though shaft mine, I don't know if you know, is not the best here for the Greeks. Much better to just jump straight to quarry. You do get a little bit of a bonus, but it's not as much as you'd expect, as a hero catapulti coming in. It actually does a lot of damage onto the Centaur, as they are all falling at this point. Ulysses 125 of 130 population here. Lots of idle military in the back, as the hoplites actually doing a lot of damage here. He needs to get some units over here onto these Caraballas. So they do have 50% pierce armor, but the Centaurs still do a lot of damage to them regardless, especially with the special abilities. Do they use special abilities on this? I don't think they do. They still do a decent amount of damage nonetheless on these Caraballas, because they've only got 85 HP. If you compare that over to the Murmillo, 121 HP, you can see that it can be kind of fairly close in effective HP. In a way. Anyways. See the Murmillo getting taken down. Ulysses still in an advantageous position, but has to pull back. 115 population to Moore's 95. But Moore is going through Thayer now. So he's actually getting himself into a really good position here to make Stymphalian birds. Moore doesn't have any favor in the bank, though, because he's been manually heroizing those units very, very quickly here. We see some more military barracks coming up. Might be worth to go into some Contarius here. We also see a dock coming up over here. Potential transport ship onto this position to get some units raiding Ulysses here, as the army continuing to push forward. More barracks coming up for Moore. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. Will we see an immediate market straight to the Mythic Age, or a palace starting to make Destroyer Arcus? We see the palace, and it is looking like Moore wants to go in with Destroyer Arcus here in order to keep himself in this game, putting heavy pressure on. We'll see how that's going to go. Ulysses, on the other hand, he has decided to go through Apollo at this point. He still has ceasefire, so he can kind of do whatever he wants here. We'll see what he's going to choose, where he's going for a massive farms. He could get himself medium hoplites, heavy cavalry, heavy cavalry, get himself some archers, but we are seeing him getting himself that food to go to the Mythic Age. Where is the market? The market coming up in the corner here. It's not the perfect market, but it's decent. Coming over here, obviously on this corner would be the best, but he doesn't have to set that up until his trade route is actually starting. Meanwhile, we are seeing some snipes here onto this location. Big underworld passage coming through for Ulysses. He's going to go after the town center of Moore. There is a Stymphalian bird flying its way in here, as Ulysses has decided to go through Hera. A very bold pick here, but going through Hera, going to be utilizing the special ability of the Medusa to get a whole bunch of damage done, plus going to be using the Lightning Storm to clean up an entire army, as we are seeing some raids coming through for Moore. But the town center falling. Is Moore going Mythic Age? Yes, he is. He's going through Hecate here, but he has lost the town center to the underworld attack here, as the Odysseus getting sniped down, not able to actually finish off the Stymphalian bird, but the Centaur will pick that one off, not before the Stymphalian bird manages to trade its life for at least one Centaur there. Nice play. The citizen here are getting taken down. This is very, very big. The villagers helping helping out as well as 4 citizen fall, nearly 5 citizen fall. There's 5 citizen going down here. Ulysses can now take this town center for himself, go up to 4 town centers, have Hera to completely remove Moore from the map, Moore's army from the map. Moore's currently 84 of 115 population. He will have the use of Hecate, and I don't think we've got a fortress up just yet for Ulysses. Normally, the best way to deal with Tartarian Gate, as we are going to be seeing the Hecate getting thrown down on that underworld passage, the best way to deal with Tartarian Gate is either a Colossus or a Heliopoli with Bellerophon, with your Mythic Age hero to tank while the Heliopoli takes down the Tartarian Gate. And then you can just not worry about it at all. But Hera is just about to pop. There it goes. There's not really any villagers on this town center either. So Ulysses is not going to care all too much about this. He's going to have his Medusa as well, as he's still building Centaur. So he could be making Medusa at this point. Medusa raids are actually very real. And in this moment, Moore decides the game is indeed lost. It's very difficult for him to come back at this point, and he will tap out. 19 minutes into the game. A very, very nice play here from Ulysses, identifying how obnoxiously strong this town center was and going in with Centaur behind it. So smart. This strategy that he actually did probably actually works a little bit with Poseidon as well, because you're not actually going for anything too early. Your Sylvan Lore was delayed enough. You probably could have researched it. Probably could have actually... This probably actually does work with Poseidon just a little bit. So for those of you who are going... having issues with Poseidon versus Oranos, I definitely think you could try and go for a 2-town center Centaur strategy and see how that works. Though obviously going to be a little bit weaker because you don't have the bolt to kill off one of those early game hero units, so maybe not as much of a goer, but interesting nonetheless. Ulysses showing a very, very strong Zeus in this game. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.